Hi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Jess. I hope that you enjoy this video. Today is going to be a book haul, but do hop over and check out all my other videos. I do a ton of different stuff and I would love it if you would subscribe. But if you came for the books, then let's jump in. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Scythe, and I think it's Scythe, not Scythe. I'm going to say Scythe, but please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, by Neal Shusterman. I have never read anything by Neal Shusterman, but I believe that a new book has just been released in this series called Thunderhead. So this was on a featured stand in my local Waterstones. I got some vouchers for my birthday and I was just browsing and having a look at some of the featured books, and this was one of them and it caught my eye. So my basic understanding of this book is that it is a dystopian set in a world where there is no death, there is no disease, there is no hunger, there is no war. It is a perfect world, and the only way that you die is if you are gleaned by the scythes, and two people from this society are chosen to become apprentice scythes and they have to learn the art of killing. And I've since seen that Neal Shusterman's writing is something of an acquired taste and perhaps not for everyone, but I thought that it sounded like a really interesting premise. I'm going to give it a go and yeah, see what I think. The next book I'm going to haul is The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is a science fiction book which was very popular last year. I don't know that much about it other than two of my favourite bookish people, Katie from Life Between Words and Julie from A Girl in a Book, have both read this, both rave about it and both really love it, and I trust their judgment implicitly. So I picked it up. I'm going to give it a go. As I said, I don't know much about it. I believe the basic premise is about a young girl who joins a spaceship, and on that spaceship is a whole host of different characters. So the young girl joins the ship looking for a way to escape her life and to go on an adventure, and then the crew are offered the opportunity to complete a task, and if they do that they will get more money than they could ever have imagined and be able to kind of step away from their lives. So that's all I know. I'm big on characters and I believe that this has got a whole host of really fantastic and well written characters, so yeah, one that I'm very much looking forward to trying out. The next book I have is Camino Island by John Grisham. I am a big John Grisham fan, mostly of his earlier work. I haven't really loved his later releases, but I was willing to give this one a go. I don't know that much about it. I prefer to go into my thrillers as blind as possible, but I believe that this is about a heist at Princeton University, and it's about the FBI agent trying to solve that heist. So another one to just pop on my list. I'll probably read this one in the summer months because I love a good thriller in the summer. So yeah, just another one to add to my TBR. Then if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen last week that James took me to celebrate my birthday. I had my wisdom teeth out on my birthday, so I didn't really get to celebrate my birthday properly. So last week we went and I got a bookish tattoo, and he also bought me a book which was The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, and this is a book which again has been getting a lot of hype and a lot of praise just recently in the book community. I believe that it is a YA book. It's about a young girl called Alice who has always been told by her mother to stay away from the Hazelwood, which is an estate where her grandmother lives, and her grandmother writes kind of like dark, twisty fairy tales. But then Alice's mother disappears one day and Alice has to go to the Hazelwood in order to try and rescue her mother. So again, I don't know too much about it, just that people have been saying that this is fantastic. So one that I am going to get to as soon as I can. And also, can we just take a minute to admire the gorgeous cover and the sprayed blue page edges. I just think that this book is all round a beautiful find. Next up we have got Together by Julie Cohen. This is a contemporary about a married couple who have been married for a very long time, and then one day the husband gets up, writes his wife a letter and leaves, and we begin to discover that perhaps not all was as it seems. It says on the front, their love was unstoppable, their life was a lie. And this is another one that I have seen cropping up just recently, particularly in the UK, with people saying that it's a really moving, really interesting read. So one that I'm very glad to have on my shelf. Next up we have The Wildflowers by Harriet Evans. I picked this one up because I wanted to get hold of some books which I could read in the summer that I would find to be quite easy reads, but I'm not a huge fan of fluffy contemporary. I like my books to have a little bit of an edge, and I believe that Harriet Evans is that type of author. So this is her latest release. I have never read any Harriet Evans before, I don't think, although the name does ring a bell, so I might be wrong about that. And it's basically a family drama. I believe that it's told from the perspective of the daughter, and her parents were famous actors. The father was an orphan, and the father has some secrets, and as far as this daughter is concerned, her life has been very golden. She's had a blissful childhood, and then one summer everything begins to change, and the family unit, as it were, begins to unravel when someone else arrives on the scene. That's pretty much all I know about it. I have seen very good things. It has been blurbed on the front by Marion Keyes, who is another author whose books I always really enjoy, so I'm looking forward to picking this one up, and I'm going to try and get to this one in the summer because I just think that it kind of ticks the box for me for the perfect summer read. Next up we have a book that I am very, very excited about, and that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I am a huge Marissa Meyer fan. This is her latest release. The cover is absolutely stunning. The premise sounds fantastic. It just sounds like everything that I love in a good YA book. We live in a society where there are renegades and there are anarchists, and the renegades are superheroes or humans with super abilities, and we have an anarchist called Nova who is determined to take down the renegades after they failed to protect her family. I just cannot wait to read this book. I think if it is anything like Marissa Meyer's other books, I'm absolutely going to fall in love with it. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this. As you might be able to see on the cover, it says he wants justice, she wants vengeance. And I am just very, very excited to read this. Next up we have got Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. This is a YA book which came in the May Fairy Loot. This is about a young girl called Kate who is known as Traitor Kate after her father attempted to assassinate the king, and she has been cast out of royal service and she works for the royal couriers, I think, taking messages to and from places. But Kate has a secret. She is a wilder, which means that she can communicate with animals, and this sets her off on a whole series of events, and I'm very much looking forward to picking this one up. I feel like it might be a little bit darker than I am anticipating. I haven't really seen that many people talk about it yet, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go and seeing what I think. It sounds like pretty interesting premise. It has forbidden magic, it has a little bit of a love interest, I believe. It's fantasy. Hopefully it's going to be quite fast paced because it's YA, and yeah, just one that I am looking forward to picking up. Then another new release which came in the May Book Box Club box, which is always a mouthful to say. I have got The Queens of Innisleer by Tessa Grattan. Again, this is a fantasy book. This is about three sisters vying to save their kingdom. They are going to war, there is magic, there is political intrigue. I am very, very excited to read this one. Again, it's a book that I have not seen that many people talking about, but you know, if you've been around here for a while, that I am a huge lover of fantasy, and I particularly love fantasy which has kick-ass female protagonists, so I'm very much looking forward to picking this one up. And again, with the cover envy, it's beautiful. Then the final book I have came in the June Fairy Loot box, and it hasn't even been released in the UK yet. It won't be released until July, and I am so excited to read it. I am possibly going to abandon the rest of my TBR this month just to read this book because I'm just so excited about it, and that is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. Again, this is a fantasy about two sisters. We have two sisters who live very different lives. We have one who is being raised in the palace, ready to be a Grace. That means she stands at the side of the sovereign and is an example to society of the perfect wife. And the other is on an island prison, and she is having to fight for her survival. And so the one sister could completely disrupt the other sister's life. So this is a story about them trying to find themselves, about them trying to find each other, and I just think that it sounds so good. It's actually not even that thick a book, so I'm hoping that I can fly through it, but yeah, I just think that it sounds fantastic. And I'll just read you what it says on the back because this is what really piqued my interest. It said, "She balanced on a precipice as wind-blown and perilous as a real cliff. There was a difference between defiance and outright rebellion. Could she do this? Could she jump over the ledge? maybe not for herself, but for her sister, yes. And can I just show you under the dust jacket, because again, this cover is just to die for. So it's bright blue and it says, "Not all prisons have bars," and then when you turn it over, it's got this silhouette on the back, which is just stunning. So there you go, they are the books that I bought during the last few weeks. Do let me know if you've bought any, if you've read any. I always love to know what you think. Do let me know what you are currently reading if you made it this far into the video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Give me the thumbs up, leave me a comment. I always love to chat with you guys, and I will see you all very soon.